we've got an important reminder about strokes, and we can never hear this enough, because I think that repetition is the only way in an emergency that it comes back to you, and you know that.
Well, you know how common strokes are. There's a stroke every 5 minutes in this country. 113,000 admissions to hospital for strokes every year, 38,000 deaths. This is a major cause of life-limiting condition, right? So it's important that people recognise the early signs so they can get early treatment. So the acronym FAST, F-A-S-T, stands for face, arms, speech and time. So F is look at the face of the individual. Are the muscles of the face drooping around the eye, around the mouth? If someone can't smile evenly, then if one side of the face has drooped because the muscles are paralysed, that's an early sign of a stroke. But it can also affect the arm and the leg, of course, down one side, but the face is more visual. Arms, can they raise their arms above their head? Have they lost any sensation in their arm? That's the second thing to look for. S is for speech. So if someone's speech is slurred, or if they're incoherent or can't speak at all, that's a very obvious sign. And time is of the essence. Time is, if you see those things, call 999, get help as soon as possible, because whether it's a hemorrhagic stroke due to a blood bleed, a bleed, or whether it's due to a blood clot, it's important to get that treatment as soon as possible.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for reminding me. Is it World Stroke Day?
It is World Stroke Day.
We didn't say that. Yeah, that's why we're talking about that. Now, Coronation Street has been doing something pretty amazing with Gail's character, and it's to do with her heart. Tell us about it.
So she has, in the last week's episode, a heart attack. So Gail there has her heart attack. She's got central chest pain. And she is admitted to hospital. And this is a really important storyline. They've partnered up with the British Heart Foundation because, you know, twice as many women die of heart disease than they do of breast cancer.
I never knew that.
And that's something that we don't often talk about. Women don't think they're at risk as much as men of heart disease, but they certainly are after the menopause when they don't have the protection that oestrogen gives them during their reproductive period of life. So it's important that women realise they're at risk of heart disease as well. The symptoms are the same in men and women. So central chest pain, which is like a crushing pressure-like pain, which can radiate through to the back, down the arms, can go into the neck, into the jaw. And it often is associated with breathlessness, dizziness, sweating, nausea. So those are cardinal common symptoms. Women after the menopause are equally at risk as men, and they're probably receiving poorer treatment because doctors don't always think of a woman with chest pain as having a heart attack. They might think indigestion. So Edinburgh University have actually said that women are 50% more likely to have a delayed diagnosis or get the diagnosis wrong in the first instance.
Well, it's really amazing what they did on the theme tune of Coronation Street. Did you see this? Should we just replay it, actually? They did that over the theme tune at the end. I mean, I found that, you know, not to use the term, but I found it arresting. You know, I found it really captivating to hear that.
Well, it's dramatic, and it reminds people that the heart is well worth looking after. We've only got one. It's the size of our fist. It beats billions of times in our lifetime, and we need to look after it.
Yes, and also the thing that, you know, as you say, that it's not always just the dramatic sort of, oh, my gosh, I'm having a heart attack moment. It's not the big drama. It can be a very slow heart attack, can't it? I don't know if that's the right term. My mum had one where she just felt a bit unwell and grey, started getting a bit sweatier and slower all through the day. And she didn't respond to it. She didn't ring any of us until really late in the day.
It's not uncommon. You know, we see on TV and in films people clutching their chest and dropping down
and it's not like that.
Actually, you can have a silent heart attack.
That's
you
the
can
one.
have it without pain. But breathlessness, that grey feeling, that feeling of impending doom, they're common symptoms as well. So if you've got a suspicion, go and get it checked out.
Especially as a woman, Now, Ozempic, always in the papers. There's always something.
I know.
Either it is a miracle drug or they've got a great PR team. I don't know. Tell us all about it.
Well, it's getting a lot of attention, isn't it, as the quick fix for being overweight. So there's a condition called lipedema. This is where there is a disproportionate distribution of fat for some women in the legs, around the tush, thighs, and you might have a very slim waist or a slim upper body, but a lot of fat around the hip area. That's called lipedema, and it affects many, many women. So there is a gathering momentum for women to say, yeah, this is really good. Ozempic and semaglutide analogues are very good for this condition. And it's spreading like wildfire on Facebook, but there are no clinical trials to suggest that it should be used in this instance. But we need clinical trials to see if it works. It's likely to help because those slimming jabs are likely to affect fat everywhere in the body, as well as these areas that are particularly affected here.
You're always an advocate of, look, the basics always work, so exercise and so on, not for particular, particular crises of health, but just overall. So what are the health habits you want us to really instill as we head through to winter now? Obviously, the days are getting shorter and so on.
Well, look, if everybody was eligible for fat loss jabs had them, it would cost the NHS £20 million. So, interestingly, research has shown that if we only did the recommended amount of moderate exercise every week that the government are saying, we would actually prevent 3.2 million cases of chronic disease, including depression, type 2 diabetes, backache, etc. So exercise is cheap.
You've got some tips.
So I would say that as we face winter, and flu, and the clocks have gone back and it's a bit dark and miserable, I say take vitamin D. That's recommended for everybody to boost your immunity. I'd say do some exercise snacking.
Yes.
So even, quite soon before bed, you can do some star jumps before you go and get a cup of coffee, a cup of tea or whatever you're having. So that's quite good. I would say the 10-3-2-1-0 rule is really useful. So that rule is to help you sleep. So no caffeine 10 hours before bed, no food 3 hours before bed, no work 2 hours before bed, no technology and screens 1 hour before bed, and 0 is 0 hits on your snooze button in the morning. When your alarm goes, get up, get going.
Amazing. Now, and can we just do one exercise when you're sitting down?
Sure.
You said
So even if you're sitting, any exercise is better than none. So just arm raises.
Yeah.
So thumbs out, above your head,
Yeah, fine.
10 times like that,
Yeah.
and 3 lots of 10.
And that's good for you,
That's simple,
And what was
isn't it?
I like this other one, because we've run out of time, but this one where you lift your feet up.
So just sitting forward on your chair,
Yeah.
upright posture,
Yeah.
and then lifting each leg up a few inches. So you've got core.
Oh, yeah, because you really feel it in
really
your
feel
tummy.
that in your core.
Oh, Lulu's at it over there.
Oh, there you go.
Lulu, you don't need to do it, mate.
I'm taking the list and I'm going to keep it on.
Excellent.
I'm doing it,
Right.
I'm doing it all.
But if you've got stairs in the house, use your stairs. Do some squat jumps.
Right.
Just keep going.
Keep
Movement
moving.
is good. Yeah,
Keep moving.
absolutely.
Thank you so much, Hilary.